Yesterday, Peter Schiff publicly came out and said that silver is Bitcoin 2.0, mentioning that gold is up over 1% today, hitting a new all-time record high, but silver is up almost 4% today. Silver has a lot of catching up to do as it still needs to double to hit a new record high. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is down almost 6% today. Silver is the new Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin 2.0.
Connection established.
This week's deals at Miles Franklin are the beautiful 1-ounce silver Krugerrands, only $3.10 over spot. We also have 10th ounce gold maples, $35 over melt. That's a minimum of 4. And last but not least, 1-ounce palladium bars, only $119 over spot. Email, text, or call me, slayer@milesfranklin.com. We have a massive inventory, all the best prices around. I'd be happy to help. That is slayer@milesfranklin.com. Now let's get into the video. Silver has officially stolen the spotlight from gold and Bitcoin and is doing exactly what all of us said it would: start outperforming gold, as the gold to silver ratio was way too high. Check out how many different articles have been posting about silver, and all of these have been within the last day. Peter Schiff touts silver is Bitcoin 2.0 amid price surge. This chart came out from economies.com. Silver price keeps achieving the strong gains. We also have this article, silver price breakout, hopefully not another false breakout. We also have this breakout is imminent that they're mentioning. This is from moneyshow.com, silver, why the metal should follow gold higher soon. This one, price prediction, which is also talking about a bullish breakout, which has been confirmed. This article from FX Empire, silver price forecast, silver continues to power higher. This article, silver's finally joined the gold rally. US dollar rally hits headwinds, silver squeeze sparks potential bullish breakout, which was also written yesterday. We also have Wisdom Tree posting an article titled, "What's Hot? Silver will take the gold medal again." So right now, silver's price is doing something phenomenal. This is the 1 week chart. Look at that mountain silver has climbed. This looks like something Bitcoin would do, or some altcoin that Elon Musk pumped from Twitter. This is not precious metals-esque type of movement. So we're going to look at what's going on. Is this going to last? Will the days of $25 silver be something of the past? And what will it stabilize at next, if so? So with that said, thank you all for supporting the channel. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm doing a giveaway soon. I will link the entry video in the description. I'm picking 2 winners, jumping out of an airplane, announcing the 2 winners very soon, in the next couple of weeks. So go enter. This is your last chance. So let's talk about Peter Schiff mentioning silver is now Bitcoin 2.0. What do you think about that, by the way? So Peter Schiff, a popular crypto critic, posted on Twitter proclaiming silver is Bitcoin 2.0 as it has shown a high price leap. Silver jumped 6% earlier today, while Bitcoin recently outstripped silver's market capitalization, weakened under financial pressure, which is actually huge. Bitcoin actually outstripped silver's market. He tweets, gold is up over 1% today, hitting a new record high, but silver is almost up 4%. Silver has a lot of catching up to do as it still needs to double to hit new record highs. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is down almost 6%. Silver is the new Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin 2.0. Or you could just say it's silver's turn. Silver's next up. Bitcoin has done its thing. Gold has done its thing. Now it's silver's turn. This came after the price made record highs, closing above $73,000 last month, which was caused by investors' demand for Bitcoin ETFs, or exchange-traded funds. However, the rally turned weak and the asset dropped to about $65,000 this past Tuesday. On the other hand, silver has been trying to reach its highest price, but still it couldn't reach its previous record of $46.47, which was achieved on March 27th, 2011. Schiff also argued that Bitcoin had no value. This is consistent with the thoughts made by Kelleher, CEO of Better Markets, who also addressed the illegality of and futility of digital currency sector on Bloomberg TV. Gold has also shown a price gain and is currently trading at $2,274 an ounce, an increase of 1%. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. It is very true that Bitcoin has no intrinsic value in the ways that silver does. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and precious metals both go against the grain. They both are going against the dollar. So you're taking control of your money, even if you invest in a cryptocurrency. That's why you'll hear someone like Robert Kiyosaki mention silver and Bitcoin a lot of times. Even myself, I've been mentioning Bitcoin since 2016. I told people to buy Bitcoin when it was $800. And a lot of people did buy Bitcoin when it was $800. They listened to me, my video. But regardless, that's not the point. The whole point is, if you're trying to invest into precious metals because of the dollar's inevitable demise, then precious metals and crypto works. But silver, like Schiff says, has real-world uses, as it is an intrinsic metal that is the most highly conductive for thermal conductivity and electricity, where Bitcoin is just a digit on a screen. Yes, you could argue that Bitcoin has some benefits, like global transactions with zero to little fees, instantaneous. There's no Bitcoin of China, Bitcoin of USA. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's also there's no Bitcoin police. Nobody can manage your Bitcoin when it's in a cold wallet stored offline. That's yours. But what if there's a power outage, right? What if there's so many different factors in terms of why we stack physical precious metals that is completely debunked by looking at Bitcoin or looking at something of Bitcoin's nature of why that is a replacement. It's not. They both have their places, and you should probably invest into both. Diversity is key. So let's look at this article. I thought this is pretty interesting because they're mentioning how silver's this is not hopefully not another false breakout. So let's look at this. We already know what happened. I'm not going to go over what happened with the $27 silver. We all know that. Now let's look at this though. This is what's important. Silver breakout is imminent. So Ron Struthers of Struthers Resource Stock Report typically follows gold. While silver usually follows gold, it can sometimes outperform gold in a bull market. Struthers believes we may be in one of those instances. And I've been mentioning this a lot for a while now. Ever since gold started breaking above $2,000 again and doing, gold's been in the highest of the high right now, or I guess since the past couple months, really, it's been the talk of the town. Everyone's talking about gold breaking new record highs consistently, and everyone's looking down on silver, but I've been telling everyone the gold to silver ratio is 90-1. What does that mean? That means that gold is extremely overvalued compared to silver, and that silver is about to start taking over. Silver is going to start outperforming gold. Nobody really believes me because a lot of people are new stackers and they just look at what's in front of their eyes right then, not really thinking I know what I'm talking about. Like, I haven't seen this happen time after time after time after time after time. A lot of people need to learn firsthand, which I'm the same way, right? If someone tells me something I'm watching on a YouTube video, I'm gonna say, okay, whatever. I need to see it for myself. Well, now you are. Now you are. The gold to silver ratio is going to keep closing down. Silver is going to keep outperforming gold. That's just what it does. The gold to silver ratio is a great tool to see which is better. Regardless, that's just what's happening right now. And he goes on to say that he's not talked much about silver for some time, but now is the time. I mostly follow gold because silver usually follows gold's path, often with the delay. And in some instances, it can outperform in a gold bull market. We could be for one of those instances because silver's lagged more, so this go around. Gold is breaking out to record highs, but silver prices are still a long way from its $50 highs. Silver is often referred to as a poor man's gold because it often starts rising in price after gold. Many investors, especially retail, will think gold has gone too high and it's too costly, so we'll buy silver, which that is rational thinking. We know that silver's undervalued and that it's nowhere near its all-time high, then wouldn't it make more sense to invest into that since it's undervalued and we know that if it's still half of its all-time high, more than likely it's going to go back up there at some point. So you want to get in while it's cheap. Gold is already at all-time highs. Why would you want to invest into something when it is the most expensive it's ever been throughout history? For 5,000 years, we've been determining this metal as value. That is the worst time to buy something, is when it's the most expensive it's ever been. No, you want to get into something while it's cheap, before the curve, right? Before the curve. Silver is that's the better option. I mean, if you're buying gold right now, don't beat yourself up. Gold is still great. It's all money. You're all still transferring fake money to real money at the end of the day. And of course, gold will keep going higher. I'm just saying silver is the better buy right now, and that's what they're mentioning. So at this point, there's little interest in silver in North America. I see that with the wide availability of silver coins. However, there is strong retail demand coming from India and also strong industrial demand there as the solar industry is starting a boom. Now, you can see these numbers. This is supply versus demand. When I talk about the silver shortage, folks, I'm not pulling numbers out of my ass. I'm not just making stuff up. I'm not speculating. I'm going off of actual data, applying the data to what's happening in the economy, and then taking the below ground supply versus above ground supply versus annual demand, taking into consideration recycling, silver as a byproduct, how much silver is going to be needed over the next 10 years as we go green, and the amount of EVs we're producing, and now BEVs, which require even more silver with AI chips. And since silver is an industrial metal, most of it's thrown away. And then implying these numbers, especially since the numbers we thought we were going to see was actually much higher. Demand was much higher than we forecasted, and supply was much lower than we forecasted. So let's look at this chart showing 2013 to 2022. I will fill in what happened last year to give more context of the reality where we're at now, since this only goes to 2022. You guys can fact check me if you want. I know what I'm talking about. This is my job. I look at these numbers. I study the data. Regardless, let's check this out. So supply is something we've been having a hard time trying to come up with. We really have been lacking for the last 7 years. This goes back 7 years. But demand has been rising. We had record amounts last year, 1.2 billion ounces last year. And then in 2022, you can see it was 1.1 billion ounces. Now they're predicting next year, or I guess this year, could be up to 1.4 billion ounces. But you see supply production never gets above 900 million, and that's on a good year. When you see this says a billion, that is including recycling and other things. But when given the context of not only are we breaking record amounts of, or I guess the supply deficits are breaking records, and they predict will continue to throughout the next foreseeable future as demand will keep rising, but also more silver is getting thrown away than recycled. Silver is getting thrown away in landfills, never to be recycled. And it's a byproduct. We've had a supply deficit for the last several years. The supply deficit has been huge since 2019. This story with silver has not changed for years, maybe a decade. There is a continuous supply deficit with growing demand, yet the silver price has not risen. Numerous analysts continue with bullish forecasts year after year based on these bullish fundamentals, and they have been wrong, or should I say too early. That is a good point, and I really hope that they mention the elephant in the room. So he says, I believe the dominating factors are shorting and price management by government principals and banksters, their goal to suppress retail demand for precious metals by focusing on poor man's gold and silver. They did. Okay, I'm glad they mentioned suppression. This suppression or suppressing intervention caused a coiled spring, and I think it will soon be released. All these bullish analysts will finally be proven correct. As they say, timing is everything, and I believe that time is soon arriving. That's a good point, is the more they try to suppress the price, the more they're pushing it down. I kind of refer this to a volcano. There's like gold's volcano and there's a silver volcano. Gold's volcano's erupted. Silver's volcano hasn't erupted yet. So the more it the more it keeps bubbling, more magma building after year, the bigger the eruption is going to be. And it's going to erupt at some point. So this is an interesting chart. We go over solar capacity from 2006 to 2030. Look at this graph. And when you see this graph rising, just think of the numbers rising with silver annual demand. And there is a correlation between silver demand and silver's price. It's almost identical. But look at vault holdings at 1.2 billion ounces. Industrial demand setting a new high, up 8%. They thought it would be down 4%. It was actually up 8% to 632 million ounces. We also had vaults all decrease, LBMA, COMEX, and the LME. all vaults are decreasing, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Now, we're going to keep seeing these types of numbers get more dramatic. And what do you think is going to happen? Eventually, it has to pop, right? So I'm glad they mentioned this right here. So, however, don't expect fireworks. Silver is much like gold because investors have been beaten up so long they will be very reluctant to dip their toe back in the market. It is much like trying to get a child who has aquaphobia into a swimming pool. It will probably take silver's price to 30 to 35 to stimulate investor demand. And that said, I believe the breakout on the chart is imminent, and we can buy silver stocks that are beaten up to ridiculous prices. It may take some patience, but the rewards will be huge, especially if silver ends up outperforming gold. And then he mentions that in the near term, he thinks India's solar and investment demand will drive silver higher. India's energy landscape is rapidly evolving, with solar and wind likely to meet 2/3 of future demand growth by the financial year of 2032. And then we have this 14th National Electricity Plan estimates India's total annual electricity generation to grow by 1,174 I guess terawatts. No, probably it's not right, but something around the 2022-2032 period. So we're talking about huge numbers, with also China being, with huge energy, China being the largest consumer of silver. So the problem's only getting worse. Where is all this silver going to come from? It also already shows that the vaults are running dry. And then throw war on top of this, the amount of silver that's needed in war, you just have a ticking time bomb. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this put in perspective how bullish silver really is and what the markets are doing right now. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. Make sure you subscribe. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.